We have launched a new independent permanent resident absorption index to estimate how many new permanent residents Canada, each province, and major census metropolitan areas may be able to absorb under current economic and demographic conditions. The index is not an official government target, immigration cap, or policy recommendation. Instead, it is a benchmark-driven model designed to help readers understand where immigration absorption capacity appears stronger, weaker, or under greater pressure across the country. The latest baseline model shows that Canada's provinces can collectively stabilize around 239,700 permanent residents per year under current conditions. This is far below the federal immigration levels target of 380,000 permanent residents per year from 2026 through 2028. That gap produces a national pressure ratio of about 1.59 times the stabilizing threshold. The model evaluates several indicators, including unemployment, housing supply, rental vacancy, affordability, wage growth, population growth, healthcare and service capacity, immigrant retention, and newcomer labor market contribution. It also separates total permanent resident admissions from temporary resident to permanent resident conversions, because people already living in Canada are typically already housed, employed, and using public services. Ontario has the highest absolute stabilizing threshold at around 92,700 permanent residents, but it still faces pressure because of its large expected share of admissions and current economic conditions. Quebec follows with an estimated threshold of about 51,800. Alberta and British Columbia sit near 34,800 and 34,200 respectively. Smaller provinces show more limited capacity under the model. Saskatchewan is estimated at about 7,700, Manitoba at about 7,500, Nova Scotia at about 4,200, New Brunswick at about 4,000, Newfoundland and Labrador at about 2,100, and Prince Edward Island at about 600. The index also ranks major census metropolitan areas. Toronto has the highest local stabilizing threshold, followed by Montreal, Vancouver, Ottawa, Gatineau, Calgary, Edmonton, Quebec, Winnipeg, Hamilton, and Kitchener-Cambridge-Waterloo. However, the CMA scores measure local absorption risk, not official allocations or targets. One of the most important parts of the model is immigrant retention. Provinces that retain newcomers over the long term receive stronger absorption scores, while provinces with weaker retention receive lower stabilizing thresholds. This matters because a province can experience short-term settlement pressure without receiving the full long-term economic benefit if many newcomers later move elsewhere. The model also includes a separate temporary resident to permanent resident threshold. This recognizes that temporary residents transitioning to permanent residents usually create less immediate new pressure than newcomers arriving from outside Canada. However, this category is still counted as a subset of the overall stabilizing threshold, not an additional intake level. This is our first public attempt and welcomes feedback from economists, immigration professionals, researchers, policymakers, settlement organizations, newcomers, and readers. The index will be improved as better data, official inside Canada versus outside Canada admission breakdowns, and stronger methodology become available.